So you probably clicked on this because you want to make some money online. You see all these people flashing their Lambos and stuff like that, speaking about being digital nomads. You notice that bills are going up, taxes going up, but your wages are not going up. So you want to basically earn some money online, and you're actually probably wondering if it's even possible. And the answer to that question is absolutely yes, because there's billions of money flowing online every single day, and for you to think that a little part of that stream can't come towards you. 10k a month is actually not that much if you think about the grand scheme of how much money is being spent online. So it's absolutely possible, but chances are you're not able to do it right now because you just don't have the necessary skills, right? You can't, add time into your day. You can't have 84 hours a day and just work more hours to make more money and to make those bills slightly easier to handle. So what you actually need is skills, right? And as you can see from the title, as you can see from the rest of my channel, we do Airbnb and we think it's absolutely the best skill. And the reason for that is quite simple. You're taking on properties which are in high demand areas and have lots of, probably millions of people flowing towards them, wanting to book them. Most short-term rentals are extremely lower quality than what the market needs, and all you're doing is facilitating that quality. So it's super easy, and there's not lots that come into it, right? It's not like e-commerce, drop shipping. It's not like these sort of things where you'll need to learn 100 skills at once. E-commerce, okay, first you need to figure out a good product. Second, you need to figure out how to market it. Third, you need to figure out how to facilitate sales. Then you need to do fulfillment. And there's just so much that goes into it. So I wouldn't even recommend that. Chances are, with rent to rent, you can put 5k down on a deal and print thousands every single month, right? You do the work once and then you never do it again, and you still make the money. Whereas e-commerce, you have to put in a lot of effort into figuring out products and finding products, and you're probably going to lose a lot more money before you make it. Whereas Airbnb, it's a lot more simple. So he's going to go further into how it actually works, so you can have an insight of what you need to do to make that money.
All you do with Airbnb, I don't even know if you can hear me right now. I hope you can. Okay, some loud ambulance. But yeah, all you need to do with Airbnb, first thing you need to do is contact landlords. Simple, just send a message. You don't need any flashy like copywriting skills. You don't need that. Just send a message, ask for a viewing. Contact the landlord for a viewing, speak to the landlord, sell the idea of company lets, all that sort of stuff. Get that deal over the line, then you have the keys in your hands. Boom, you've got a property there, furnish it. Simple as light furnishing. All you need to do is put into like 2 to 3k into furnishing that property. You don't need to like carpet it yourself, do all the painting yourself. You don't need to do any of that. Just take on properties which don't need you to do that, basically. All you need to do is like hang up decorations, put in beds, put in sofas, put in TVs, all that sort of stuff. And then after that, you have a property and you just list it online. You list it on websites like Airbnb, Booking.com, VRBO, OpenRent, all of them sort of websites. And once they're listed on there, literally traffic will come towards it. Traffic will come flowing towards it. Now you've set up all them systems. As you said, you set it up once and you can just sit back. And that's what that means. After doing all that sort of stuff, and after you furnish the property and you've listed it, you sit down and bookings just flow in. They just come in every single day. You see your phone ping, you got a booking. Phone ping, you got a booking. And you've set up systems which will automate the check-in process, which means you literally have to do nothing. Your cleaners are made aware of when they need to clean and stuff like that, which means, again, you have to do nothing. You don't even have to speak to your cleaners. You just get videos from your cleaners after they clean the property. That is how easy Airbnb is. It is, nothing about it is hard. The only thing which people struggle with is getting rejections from landlords, but it's not hard to do that. If you just position your mind and frame the no correctly, like it's actually easy. We have a video on that as well, so if you can check that out. But it's not hard at all. Like, you don't need to learn how to market it yourself, the property. Like it gets marketed and people already go past the property on Booking.com and Airbnb. As long as you have good pictures, that's all you need. You don't need to learn how to facilitate sales or anything like that. It all gets done for you. That's the main thing about Airbnb. Once you set that up as well, you have to do pretty much no work, unless you want to do outreach to contractors, the council and stuff like that, and you want to get bookings out there. But even then, it's not hard. You're just speaking to a few people, letting them know you have a property which sleeps this many people in this area. Will that be of use to you? That's it. What is hard about what I've said? Nothing at all. There's not one thing which is actually difficult to do. It's very easy to do. People just have this thing in their head that it's very hard to do because it's property related and it's going to cost a lot of money, and it's not like that at all. And the rates you get as well from Airbnb, like 100 plus a night, just for setting up, just for doing what I've said, you can make £100+ a night. And even then, if you're in a city like London, or you're in a really good area, you're looking at like 250+ a night. So that's why Airbnb is definitely the best side hustle. it's actually the only one that's semi-passive rather than all this drop shipping e-commerce that people speak about. Once the property is set up, money literally comes flowing in. So now he's going to speak more about like why it's the best.
So when you're doing e-commerce, when you're doing drop shipping and stuff like that, yes, you find, let's say you spend 15,000, you end up finding a winning product which actually gets sales, right? Great, you're getting sales, you're making money, amazing. You're finally making that 15k back. Do you think that product's gonna get sales forever? No. It's very different with Airbnb. Like, you're facilitating shelter, right? Property is shelter. That's a problem that you're solving, and I'm sure all of you are aware that like you get paid based on the problems that you solve. With Airbnb, you're solving a shelter problem, and what do you think that's gonna stop after 6 months? No, people are gonna need to stay with you regardless. What we like to do is not called the model Airbnb. Actually, we say it because it's like the public way of saying it, but like in reality what you're doing is you're managing you're managing properties on a short-term rental basis. So you're paying a monthly rent to the landlord, and then you are letting it out on a nightly basis, right? And then over time what you're actually learning is, number one, the payments that you're getting are very consistent, and you actually don't need to do much apart from setting it up and getting the property. Like, once you've actually set it up, you're fine. And the best thing is you're now in the property market. And what does that mean? You keep getting better and better and better. For us, we personally will be buying properties by the end of this year. We've been doing rent to rent for a while now, saved up our cash pot, done what we wanted to do in this field, and we will be buying properties to use them as short-term rentals on the basis that we've now got loads of connections from being in property. We have a team, we know lots of people who are helping us in the space, and that wouldn't have happened unless we actually took the leap and started. So the skills and the market and the knowledge that you get in property is different. You will never ever in e-commerce or in dropshipping learn anything like that. And also, it just makes a lot more sense. Like, every property always goes up, and it always will go up, especially in the UK. We have, a lot of, so people are growing up, people are obviously wanting to build their own families, want to move out with their own people, whatever, so they need more properties. But our government is not able to build enough properties. They consistently set out every single year to build 300,000 properties and fail. They failed every single year since the 80s. So what that means is we've got a fixed amount of land, and there's not enough properties being built. The demand for properties grows even more and more over time. So you're going to find that just by getting onto a property ladder, you're going to kill it financially. So it's one of the best places to be. It's one of the best things to do. And the best thing is you're going to learn real skills. You're going to make real money because you're solving a real problem. So that's why this works. That's why it's something that caught our interest whatever 2 years ago now. And another thing that I wanted to say based on what he was saying earlier is he was saying that it was easy, right? And that probably coming from someone that's at the other end and that has done it time and time again, it probably doesn't mean much. But let me just tell you this: when we started, I was 20, I was a uni dropout, and I was working in a call center. We don't have any family friends who are landlords and stuff like that. We had to build our network and our connections from the ground up, but we were just so determined that we got it done. I know you probably hear that all the time online. Oh, we just put in the work and it happened. No, we literally did. Like, there's literally documentation of every single thing on our stories on our Instagram of what we're still doing. So like, we just literally put the work in. Let's be honest, we're nothing special. We literally just we're not intelligent. We're not anything like that. We just literally put the work in. We understood the model firstly. We got educated. We put the work in. Took action diligently, and then we just didn't stop. And then that's what's allowed us to get to this point right now, where we are helping other people start their own businesses. Is there anything you want to add to that?
I just want to speak more about the fact that property will never ever go. Like, with dropshipping, you're selling lamps and stuff, like colorful lamps. Like, the demand for that's gone after a few weeks, if not in a few months. But with property, the demand it stays. It's not like a luxury. Having a roof over your head and having shelter is a necessity. So that's why being in the property game, it's a long-term strategy. It's not one of these short-term get a few thousand and go. It's not one of them. And when people ask how long do you see Airbnb lasting for, look around how long since you were born. One, there's properties everywhere. Two, there's hotels everywhere as well, and hotels never ever go. So why do you think Airbnb will go? It doesn't make sense. Hotels are playing the same game as us short-term rental hosts. It's the exact same game. We're accommodating people for less than 6 months. That's literally it. So if you think Airbnb is gonna go and the skills aren't gonna last a lifetime, you're very, very incorrect. And yeah, that's exactly why. Hotels ain't gonna go anywhere, because property is gonna be needed by someone at some point for eternity, pretty much. Until we know better, everyone needs not everyone's gonna sleep. No one's gonna sleep or choose to sleep on the street if they can just pay a few hundreds for a few properties. So don't think that Airbnb is not gonna last. That's a bit silly. But stuff like drop shipping and your colorful lamps and your pillows and stuff, that's gonna go, unfortunately. So make sure when you're picking a hustle, you factor the things that we've basically said, and you think about it and you think, what do people actually need? Business is demand and supply. You have the supply and there is demand. So make sure you think of that when you're picking your hustle. Is there anything you want to add?
If you thought this was interesting, or even if you disagree with us, drop a comment, and we're happy, I'm very happy to debate and argue and stuff like that. So let's have that discussion. Comment, like, share, subscribe if you are interested in learning more. And if you are just confused, just remember demand and supply, as he said, is the most important thing. Thank you for your time.